It's good to be totally prepared. Okay, great. So yeah, thanks for joining us today in this Power Hour. So I am joined today with Michael Palmer, the CEO of Pure Bookkeeping North America and the founder of the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. So thanks for joining me today, Michael.
Hey, my pleasure. My pleasure. Looking forward to the topic.
Yeah, I know it's kind of late over there in Canada, but it's always
getting up there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
so if I yawn, please give me grace.
Yeah, that's right. Get into those coffees. Yes. Awesome. Yeah. So today's topic is around, do you run your business professionally? And we'd love to get some interaction today. I want some audience interaction. And I know Michael is going to be offering the Successful Bookkeeper book out to those that are main contributors today. So whether it is on the Power Hour today or in Facebook land. So please pop your comments over in Facebook if you are watching us. There's an area there for you. I'll be looking out for the comments over there and also in the chat box in the Zoom meeting today. And happy to take people off mute if they want to have a chat through the topic today, which is around, do you run your business professionally? So I know this is something that Michael and I are very passionate about, for bookkeepers to actually get away from the mentality of, running the business as a job and the deja vu of going just from BAS to BAS and not really have any direction or clear idea about how to run their business, or have any clear vision around their business and really, take your business seriously. I know for myself, when I was running my business, I had many, many years where I was working from home, doing a job, working for different clients, feeling as if I was getting a bit into a rut, and feeling like I was doing a lot of the churn work and not actually doing the enjoyment, not leading this business. I was getting caught in what clients wanted me to do, and not really taking this business seriously. So it wasn't until a point in time when my kids were in high school, I moved out of the office and I decided to take my business seriously. So between those business hours, I had my business hat on, my business owner, my leader hat on, so that I could work on, building the business and not just working in a job. I imagine, Michael, you get conversations from many bookkeepers as well in North America and, in that type of relationship with their clients, with that type of relationship with their business.
Absolutely. It's your journey is very common. Very common. Some people never get out of that cycle, and it's kind of almost, you don't know what you don't know sometimes.
Yeah.
If you're unsatisfied, why are you unsatisfied could be the question, and then that if you looked back on what you were doing, there was something that triggered that analysis or view, and you decided you wanted more for your business.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I was. I wanted to do more than just bookkeeping and just doing the 9 to 5, the hours of just bookkeeping work. I wanted to get into the advisory and consulting and build the business and look at it differently. So it is a mindset shift. Be interested to hear from others on the call today. Maybe Helen, you would like to jump in. I know you've just made a comment of how exciting to see Michael on the call.
Hi everyone. I'm just on my mobile briefly until I make my way back to the office. Hi Michael, so nice to see you.
Good to meet you. Yes.
I listen to the podcast every day. I'm only up to episode 63, believe it or not. I discovered it not long ago, and I've been starting from the first episode and listening to each one, and it's fantastic. I really enjoy it, so it's good.
Wonderful.
Thank you for providing them.
Good to hear. Well, my pleasure. And 63, you've got a few more to go.
I've got quite a lot to go, but that's okay. I do a lot of driving. So, you know, and it's nice. I just listen to it in the background while I'm working. So, you know, it's good. It's a nice way. I like to start the day with it's almost like having your personal coach to just, you know, motivate you for the day ahead, I guess. I just find it relaxing.
Very cool. And what, has there been an episode or some topics that have stood out for you?
There's quite a few. Look, there's so many different topics. I do enjoy listening to the bookkeepers who are, you know, in the thick of their business and listening to their journey. A lot of things they say obviously resonate with me directly. But, you know, there's others. There's the productivity man who has some great tips. And, you know, of course, Ron Baker and his value pricing. And, and some of them I just sort of make a few notes as I go, and then I stop and then I rewind and listen again. And, there's just some really insightful things. I couldn't pinpoint one thing. I mean, it's always great to listen to Debbie. I mean, her success is just phenomenal, really. You know, Sharon's on there. There was even, I think, with Peter Broberg, he was another PB licensee. So it's nice when I hear licensees and, you know, your audience and even your speakers, they're quite broad. So it's nice to, when you touch on Australian bookkeepers, and I get to hear the accent.
That's right.
No, it's really good. Really good. Yeah, very enjoyable.
Very nice. Very nice.
Sorry, Katrina, what was your question?
Yes, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. I'm sure Mike would love to hear some feedback. So that's good. Yeah. So today's you know, title around, you know, running your business professionally. I know, Helen, that you've been in business for a little while. So was there a point in time where you thought, I need to run this business differently to act more professionally, or, you know, put a business hat on and put a leadership hat on? What was your journey?
I remember I'd been bookkeeping for, it was close to 15 years, freelancing while the kids, similar to most bookkeepers, the kids are at school and you fall into bookkeeping from one way or another. And I was just happy to plod along. Just, you know, I always said if I could make the groceries and, you know, then it was if I could cover the house bills, that's enough for me. So I wasn't trying to, I was actually knocking back a lot of work. I had closed my books, I remember, for a good 7 years. It just suited my lifestyle at the time. And then I think it just came to, it was 2018, and I just thought, gosh, I've got to either, I had a staff, someone helping me out, and I thought, I remember her passion, excitement, and she'd always been in her own business working with her husband, but this was her real job away from him and, you know, independent of anything they had ever done in their career. So I thought, goodness, I'm really responsible for continuing her employment now. And, you know, it's sort of, that was a bit of a mind shift. And I remember one job that we took on was in the city. And, you know, this staff member's close to 60. So she'd been in cafes all her life, working for herself. And suddenly she's in a corporate office of this $30 million company, and they had given her a private office. And I thought, wow, you know, you can change. I just remember thinking, you know, did you ever imagine to see yourself in this kind of position? And I thought she really valued what she did, and she was such a valued employee. And I thought, God, I really need to either, you know, it was that, do you take a step back? You know, I couldn't with the kind of work we were getting, or do I just take it all seriously? So it was a matter of becoming a company, and then, you know, became a PB licensee, and it just skyrocketed. Like, I just can't believe, once we opened our books up, it just skyrocketed from there. And it's been a lot harder because there's a lot more happening, a lot more, you know, you're trying to do your business workflows and making sure you're meeting your KPIs, and there's all this, it's like everything, just a whole world opened up, and everything changed from what I used to do as a sole trader freelancing. Everything changed. So, and we've just secured a lease for a new office, so it's exciting. You know, we finally get to move out and get a proper office, and so it's I don't know, it just happened, I guess. No,
that's great. So I know for myself, it was a mindset shift, as you said. It's like you're taking it seriously. You're responsible for, an office and some staff. So now we need to, systemize our business. We need to pick the right clientele. We need to put some planning in place. So what were some of the behaviors that you noticed changed when you did, take that seriously?
I think it all had to start with me, obviously. Like it was, it's just becoming that, I used to think I'm running a business, but I'm really running a family business, because when you're still running your business from home, the family are directly the first ones affected. So that was the first thing I had to do, was almost where they came first, and not saying they still don't, but some things had to wait for them. If I was on a call, I had to run around the house and say, right, I'm about to go into a Zoom meeting. So, don't go running around the background and screaming your head off. So it was just, that was the first change I had to make sure happened, that people couldn't tell if I was working from home. So, and it was just monitoring, I think before it was more of, we had a good month when you look back, but now it's monitoring the business all the time. And we still aren't in the situation where we're going out marketing and seeking clients. We're still getting a lot of referrals, but I'm more concerned with, I know there's a lot of clients that need a lot more assistance, and we can upscale their services just with what we've got without still searching for new clients. So, or having to be concerned with marketing.
I think that's one of the big areas that we also miss out on, is not servicing our clients more. Like, what else can we provide them?
Yeah. And it's still the procedures and everything. I sat down to try and write my own and do this and do that, and I thought, this is crazy. I've got the PB, so it's a slow process for me, but we're getting there. We just work through a client at a time and make sure everything's the way it should be, and that's been the hardest thing. We were so used to doing things my way for so long. Now we're doing it this way, and I've committed to do that. Now I've got to get the staff committed to do that. So, and that's where we're at. So I'm not setting a time limit as such that's not achievable. But I push these procedures every day, these standards. So, and just remind them, there's checklists, there's this, have you done that? So yeah, it's just on their back constantly. And I know before, it'll become second nature to them. So yeah, that's where we're still at.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. It's always good to hear your thoughts, because you've gone through it as well, and you're still, obviously bookkeeping, but you're still evolving and still growing your business, and having some successes along the way, which is awesome to hear. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always, I love it. It's refreshing to hear, and I'm always reminded, and I remind that when you're building anything, it takes time, and that's the only way that it can be built. And so you either build it or you don't, but eventually you'll turn around and go, gee, I can't believe that happened. And as long as you keep your passion and your desire intact, you will keep going. It's when your desire, your passion, or your belief starts to waver that you are threatened with having to stop or slow down, or not want to do the things that you need to do in order to build this business of your dreams.
I think for me too, the important thing is we work alone all the time, and the best part, I guess, is like I have Sharon Francisco now, who is, we're working together, which is great. I've got PB, yourself in the car every day. So it's all these things that we've got so many resources at hand to help us every day, run a business, which is, that alone is fantastic. So I think that's made a huge difference. You're not alone in doing it. You've always got someone who's been there before you, and, who you can learn from.
Love it.
Yeah, that's very true. And there's, I don't know, Deb, Debbie Roberts did it the same way in hiring Peter Cook as her mentor to help her through those years. And I had a coach as well. As soon as I moved out of home and started to take it seriously, you just need that accountability and that person on the outside to be, helping you with the decisions you're making and leading, just making sure, checking in with why you're making these decisions, and, making sure that you've got your plan in process and your vision, asking you questions that, we wouldn't normally ask ourselves if we're doing, if we're operating a business. Nobody checks in and says, well, what's your vision? What are you going to do over the next 10 years? What's the purpose of your business? So it's not until you join these type of sessions and talk to others and be involved in the community, the industry, that you get to question these things for yourself. And, it does, get you thinking about what is right for you. What do you want for your business? So I love it. So, being all the resources that are around nowadays, there's just so much that can help you out. You don't always need to find an outside coach. It's getting the information from so many other different ways, and just getting out there, being involved in the industry. Yeah, it's helpful.
Mm-hmm. So
a lot of the aspects around, making sure that you are running a professional business is you're just checking in, say, for example, like with your clients, just making sure that you are attracting and engaging with clients that are congruent with your business model. So it might be in relation to the size of the businesses that you're working with or the services that you want to provide. Don't take on clients that are not, one's ideal that you want to be working with. There might be clients out there that don't appreciate you, that run on their own terms. So they provide you information when they want to. They demand the work to be done within 24 hours or insist on phone calls straight back that, you are only in business for them. So these people, drain you and take away your serviceability to your other clients. So it's you realizing that you are the leader of the business, that you can make a choice, that you can say no to these clients that are, running their race, and then not letting you, work on your own business. I was actually mentoring a client this morning that was exactly that. They wanted more and more hours of her, and taking away the hours that she can actually work on her own business and go and get better clients that appreciate her, that she can, charge more for, rather than just being taken up by so many clients that are just not really wasting their time, but like they're just not suitable for you. So, you're running this professional business, so you get to choose who you are going to work with. So is there anyone on the line today that might have clients in a similar, that they're draining them? Sharon, have you got some examples around that?
I've got a client that texts me at 7 o'clock at night and wants something done.
Yeah.
And so I've put on my messages, when you ring up, I've said, I'm sorry, I can't answer your call. Give me a text, rather than leave a message, give me a text and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Yeah. And so that's they're the clients are pushing and pushing and pushing. And if you were to pick up the phone at 7 o'clock at night or text him back or run and do the work, he knows that you are going to continue to do that. So it's you putting yourself in that leadership, in that, controlling position to push back and say, these are my parameters. This is my
fault, really, because when I was part-time, and, I had a full-time job and I was doing bookkeeping out of hours, I would do things out of hours because that's when I was working. But now that I'm full-time doing bookkeeping, I've tried to constrain it to normal hours. So
yeah. It's
thinking
pulling it back into the hours and the criteria that you are wanting. So it's just recognizing those things. So it's a really good example. Just wondering if others have got ideas of, what they're struggling with at the moment that we could possibly deal with if you're not feeling as if you are, running a business that of, your ideal business, or a business that you would feel is professional and efficient. Donna, you were on the screen before. Are you able to come off mute and have a chat about your journey? I know she was in the car before when she popped on. She might not be.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, I'm just driving back to Geelong from beautiful Lawn. So
yeah, you mentioned you're in Lawn. Gorgeous.
Nice.
Now, we might have lost you. You might be in an area where we've lost.
Well, I'm sort of just at the big bookkeeping for the reasons that we have expectations, wanting me to do things that were not ethically sound, things like that. So I just pretty much said to them, I'm not the person that you should be working with, and I think you should find somebody else that will work with you in that way.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We hear that quite a lot, that clients are pushing us to do things that aren't ethical, that aren't accurate. And, we've got our code of conduct, and, we can be sued. We can, lose our license if we are doing things that is not within the law. And clients, will often, we've heard of clients that will push the bookkeepers to say we're not paying the superannuation, or we're going to pay the wages under the desk. We're going to claim these deductions. Yes, I did need that, 100 centimetre TV for recording purposes or something. There's a lot of things that clients will try and get away with. And again, you've got to make that decision when you're in business of what you're going to accept and what you're going to just walk away from. And I know lots of bookkeepers have walked away from clients that are just not, that are pushing them too far. Like, they won't provide receipts, they won't provide evidence, those type of things. So it's making that decision as well. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yes, it's not a problem.
Was there something else that you wanted to comment?
I was just going to say, yeah, it was a tough decision considering it was 50% of my workforce.
Yeah. That is a big decision. Michael, did you want to add something?
Well, I was going to say it's a big decision, and it's one that I think anytime you start to say no in your business, it's going to create the type of yeses that you want in your business. And until you're ready to say no, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. There's a great quote: you get in life what you tolerate. And so
right.
If you are tolerating those things, well, they may bring you money, but they might bring you worry, stress, anxiety, frustration. These are costly things that often we don't realize how costly they are, how much life energy they suck out of us. And so is it worth the money for, what you're doing? And it's not just about the time you put in, it's about the time you're putting in, thinking about it, putting energy into it. So I'm always excited when someone says no to something, because I know there's a big positive yes coming.
Good. I hope so.
Yes. Well, it's also up to you to create that. What is that, as long as you're really clear about the client you want and you're taking the actions that are in line with attracting those types of clients, then it's just a matter of time before that happens for you.
Yeah. I totally believe in that too, in letting clients go because other clients are just around the corner. And you hear it all of the time that they lose one client and 3 turn up, and they're more of their ideal client. So it's just relieving you that space as well, that headspace, to be able to think and put it out there, plan for that. So it's always encourage people to let go of clients that aren't working for you.
It's just so amazing how every business is built differently with different people, and it's not just bookkeeping industry, it's every industry. And you'll see people in these different industries where they only work with like high-end clients and the very best, and the most clients that are willing to pay the most for whatever it is. And you go, gee, how lucky are they? They said no to a lot of people to get that, to be set up for that, whether it's bookkeeping industry or any industry. They said no to all the other clients that everybody else has, right? The ones that are the PITAs, pain in the patoot, right? And frustrating, not being the way you want them to be. Well, they said no to all those clients. So when you say no to that client, you're obviously clear about who you want to deal with. So it's up to us to determine what is it that we want, because no one else is going to figure that out for us.
Don't
So
you love?
congrats.
Yeah, don't you love the strength in that choice, in being able to say no, and being able to choose that these are the clients that I want to work with, and not just accept everybody, that it's okay to say no.
It's okay to say no. Yes.
Yeah. Is there anyone else on the call that wants to jump off and talk about their business and working through, the transition away from, say, working as a job, as working, becoming a leader? Love to hear from some of the others on the call today. Jeremy, did you want to jump off mute at all?
Sorry, Katrina, I'm sort of doing multitasking at the moment, just listening in.
Not a problem.
I'd love to contribute, but I'm not really focused on fully.
Yeah, that's fine. Not a problem. We'll
allow multitasking.
Yeah, that's what we do so well. Except you're a male. I shouldn't say that. I know that. You're a bookkeeper, so that's that works well. Sharon, what have I said? Did you come? You wanted to have a...
Yeah, I was just going to say that I found that it wasn't until I employed another bookkeeper that I thought about how professional I'm running the business, and getting policies and procedures in place. And it wasn't until I employed someone to help me that I thought, oh, hang on, I probably need a document to cover that.
Yeah.
It's a good point. I remember a client that was terrified of hiring because how she was running her business was not her business wasn't the way she wanted it to be. It's like, cleaning up your house, to have someone come over into your house. If it's like, oh, it's too messy, it's this, it's that, all this perspective of the way that it is, that it's at the same time, she wanted to get the staff to help her clean up the business. So it was like this, she was stuck, and it went on for a long time before she got the courage to say, oh, you know what? It is the way that it is. It's not going to get any different, and I need help to make it different. So I just need to bite the bullet. But it was interesting that you actually got that staff on and then thought about, how am I going to run this business more professionally?
Yeah. It's also around the delegation now. Once you have staff, it's letting go of the work. And that is another big phase of becoming a leader of your business as well, of saying it's okay to pass work over to your staff and trusting that they are going to look after your clients, protect your reputation. Of course, you need systems in place to be able to do that, so to make sure that they're doing the right work at the right time. So again, leading your business by working on it to make sure those systems are there to be able to put somebody on to do the right stuff and then scale from that. And to be able to have a review process in place. So, you need to free up your time to be able to put these systems in place and then to review the work that others are doing, or put a system into place to review that work as well. And I think the faster that you do that transition of keeping all that work to yourself compared to passing it over to staff, the sooner you do that, the better it's going to be, the fast track you're going to be in the successful bookkeeper business. So are you finding that at all, Sharon, in the fear of passing work over to her? There's a couple of facets around this, but if we, just talk about the trust and passing work over.
The only thing I get her to do really is reconciliations and reports, and generating the pure bookkeeping reports. So there isn't a lot, apart. It's just reconciling the bank accounts, really. Mm-hmm. So I'm not really giving her a lot of work, a lot of responsibility, and I think, you're probably right. It probably is because I'm scared that she's not going to do it the way I want her to do it. But also I think, getting those procedures in place and say, this is how we're going to do it, and actually documenting them, because I know that we've talked about how we're doing things, but it's not until you talk about it and document it so that it's there for anyone else as well that it's, going to help, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's, allowing yourself the time and space to think about those procedures that you need to put in place and set those up, and trusting it. I always, think when I was running my business or growing the business, this is not rocket science. It should be easy to be done. It should be, you put systems in place, you hire staff by testing them really well and having a review process. So now the staff are in and doing the work. You go out and find clients that are ideal, that are profitable, appreciative, in line with the services you want to provide. So then, then you're not doing a lot of the work. You've got the headspace to be able to grow the business. That was one of my mainstays of going, this shouldn't be hard. There's a system, there's a template, there's a model, good staff, well tested, good clients that appreciate you and you've rated them. And then you just scale from that. And then, you put in your training processes and, make sure that you continue to grow, planning it out, planning the year, planning the business, knowing your vision. It's just that momentum, and it's just move forward. Every now and then you'll get kicked in the guts or knocked over for 6 because a staff member will leave at BAS time or whatever. But you just go, okay, what do I need to solve that problem? I need another staff member. I need some processes in place. And having the systems and the foundations behind the scenes of that business just allows you to be able to pop somebody else in there, and you've got all of the checklists and the manuals and all of that stuff for another person to sit in that spot and be able to just continue on with that same business, same clients, same service. So it's just finding that time. I'm sure your bookkeepers also, Michael, are experiencing similar things.
Well, I like the way you lay it out. And I mean, I'd be curious to know when in your journey, when you kind of reached that, what was it like when you reached that point where you had the business working more for you than you working for your business?
It was when I had the right staff in place. And the being able to say no, like identifying the right client, and really like having, you need that space, you need that headspace to look fully at your client base and go, which ones are working for this business? if I've got a staff member, what's their capacity? What are they able to do? What clients do I need for that? And working out, do those clients fit into that? So it's not small clients. It's not quarterly that's going to mess you up at the end of each quarter. It's, you put a staff member on and you build your clients to fill that staff member. So you know that you've got 5 hours a day, so you need to know you've got regular clients that's going to provide them with that work. It's always with that realization that you need to find that space. So it's always knowing that you need to get rid of the workload that you were doing. You can't do, and this evolves over time, over years. It's putting your first staff member on and filling up their books, and then putting another staff member and looking at your org chart as well and making sure that you've got the right hierarchy of staffing that matches the work you need to do, and then keep moving yourself off the books so that you've got that space.
Do you remember times when it wasn't that way in your business?
Certainly when the staff would leave at night and I'd be sitting in the office knowing I have a pile of basses to do and you tears and you're working Saturdays and it's like, this is not working.
Yes.
This is when you've got 3 staff and you're still busy because all you're doing is maintaining the staff.
It came up today in one of our calls was when you have that was painful. And the pain is what drives you to not ever want to have that happen again. Or how do I get out of this? How do I change this and figure it out? And so you had a vision for what the business you wanted. You had pain of what you didn't want, and the pain led you to doing the work you needed to do in order to build this right business. And some that's I think part of the problem is when people have just started out or they haven't had enough of that pain, they don't think maybe it's going to happen to them or that it won't be as bad for them. And so I guess the opportunity for anybody who's watching or in that state is to somehow learn from the people who've had the pain, because you just don't want to have the pain, even though the pain will be educational for you, to avoid as much pain as possible and get the rewards without having that pain is really to embrace that. And really the way you've laid it out, very similar to Marcus Lemonis, who's an American, he runs Camping World's US. So that's I think an $8 billion company. And he's a host of a television show called The Prophet. And it's very popular in the United States and in Canada. I don't know if it's over there in Australia. What I love about his show, though, is every business he looks at, he thinks of process, people, and product. And so if you get those 3 things running well, the business starts to take a life of its own. If one of them is not working, it drags the other 2 down. And so you've really talked about people, getting the right staff, having the right processes in place. And then we haven't really talked about product, but I guess in terms of your clients, having the best clients, delivering the best service, right? So are you in the, I'm going to serve everybody business, or are you in the, I'm going to serve, this type of client, really knowing that client, as you've been saying? It sounds like you built a business where you just really knew. It's like, yeah, I don't want them. I've had enough of them. I'm done with them. I'm getting new clients and they're going to look like this. And that, I mean, for people watching, that's such a gift to be able to know that there's a model to have a business that works for you, not you for it. And and the formula is there: people, process, product.
Yeah, exactly. And just continuing to come back to that thought of it is doable. So when you feel as if something's not working, you just find the solution. You just, we're resilient people to just keep moving forward. And that's, and coming back to, there's so many resources in this industry that, the systems are already laid out for you. They're available for you to access and plug into your business. You're getting mentored by all of these podcasts and webinars that it's already helping you. So it's, you know, the resources are there. So it's just spending the time, as Helen says, she spends every day listening to a podcast. It's learning. It's not something that you can just sit back and go, I wish or I want a business like that. You've actually got to work towards it. You've actually got to do something towards creating it to happen. It doesn't just happen on its own.
That's right. It's building a business. It doesn't build itself.
Yeah, it's an activity.
It does not build itself. It's an activity.
Verb.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So, Helen, you did have your hand up before. Did you want to come off mute again?
Yeah, I did have a question actually. And it's probably quite broad, and a lot of factors will make up the outcome. But in general, like when you employ staff, is there a certain number of clients that people generally can handle? You know, if you're wanting to, you know, delegate duties, but it's also, you know, I would hope you get bookkeepers that could maintain those client relationships for you, so you can eventually step away. So I'm sort of wondering, you know, how many clients do you give a bookkeeper to look after? It's very broad, isn't it?
Yeah,
but if you're doing, you know, end-to-end bookkeeping to, you know, completing the BAS, and of course I'd come along and I'd review once I've got the assurance, yes, this person knows what they're doing, and it's a matter of maybe looking at a few reports and, you know, it's all there, or, you know, obviously when our checklists are done, everything you assume would all be intact. So how many clients can they take on? If anyone can help with that.
It's a really interesting question, and it's going to depend on a lot of things, obviously, of the capacity or the capacity of the staff member. You know, are they full-time? If they're full-time, well then, you know, we've got lots more play power. The needs of the client, you know, is it daily or weekly or monthly or quarterly? And I used to have a staff member with a mixture of clients. So they'd have weekly and monthly and quarterly type of
which
needs.
we do, yeah.
So so then, you know, you would always be shuffling around the clients to fit in with the staff that you've got, and I'd also check in with the staff about what they like to do. So make sure that they are enjoying their work. So I had one bookkeeper that was doing different clients and some reviews and things, but all she wanted to do was data processing and reconciliation. So I would put her onto the heavy loads, the clients with a heavy load. So she would just learn, she would whack through it really fast. She'd hate to have to contact clients. She'd hate to do a lot of this other fluffy stuff, that she just wanted to get in and do stuff. So it's understanding your client, your staff as well, and their needs. And then
so that would be
What was that?
Sorry. Oh, that would be a good starting point when you're interviewing, is finding out what they need and then placing those clients with that staff member.
Getting
from the get-go.
Yeah, because you'd ask client, you know, staff would say, I hate rescue jobs. I hate messy jobs. Well, you know, you've got to make a decision then. Do you get a lot of messy jobs coming into your business, and do you need them to do rescue, or put them onto the clean jobs? It also depends on the staff member whether they have the ability to multitask and have lateral thinking. So can they work with, you know, 10, 20, 30 different clients? Would they be able to cope? Is their brain power capable of doing that? And, you know, I had one staff member came in, she used to just do bookkeeping for one business when she was employed by me. And she left after a couple of years because she just could not get the idea of working with 6 different clients because her mind just couldn't do that. So when you're testing them at the start, you want to, you know, obviously get an idea of how they can move between activities and move between, you know, different roles, if you like, different hats. So if they're stuck in, or they've got experience and they're only in one block one area, then you might not put them on 30 clients. But if you've got a staff member that can take on a lot more brain power and the ability, and very agile ability to move from client to client, action to action, then you could easily put them on 20 to 30 clients. So it's going to depend on the activities that they do need to do each week, each day, each week. But, you know, and if they're just checking into clients on a weekly basis, that's a half an hour, well, then maybe they could do more. But if you want them to give client attention, you wouldn't, you know, I'd be looking around 20 clients for a staff member. And I know that's a very generalized number, like it's really hard to put a number on it. But if you were to say you were sitting there and you've got 20 clients, that person has to know everything about those 20 clients. So how much more can they do past that? And you might build them up. You might, you know, give them a nice level of work, weekly, monthly, quarterly work, and there might be 6 there. And then you give them another 2 and another 2, and that you just keep building up that number for them. Does that make sense?
Thank you. Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, it does. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. Michael, have you had any, you know, experience or, you know, from feedback from bookkeepers around the number?
It's a question that gets asked often, and I think you've answered it very well. I'd be curious to know if there's anyone else that has staff, what their experience has been. And I think it's one of these, there's going to be a different situation for every staff member. And I think the analysis that you've given around evaluating capacity based on their skill sets and characteristics, you know, fantastic. But then it comes the law of averages and what you've given a number 20, because I think it's nice for people like Helen, who's thinking about growing their business, trying to put together this vision, this model, what's going to look like, how many people, if I got this number, top line revenue, how do I get there? What's the infrastructure need to look like in order to do that? And I think we have the ability to understand this from many people around the world, which is interesting. So I think we'll continue to ask this question and get some crowdsourced answers back for this particular question. I think it'd be a great little article we could do. But anyone on the call that has staff or thoughts around those, what Katrina has said, and to either add to it or validate.
Yeah, I should have probably mentioned that at the moment, the 3 staff that I have, we're all sharing the clients. I guess because I have this fear that if I'm the only one that knows everything, if something happens to me, I need to make sure the clients are looked after and, you know, the work continues. So that's where I'd like to start delegating clients to, you know, to the bookkeepers eventually. So, yeah, not ideal, but it's good that we all know, you know, what's going on with each client and we can all jump in and do the work at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I know of bookkeepers that actually do rotate the work as well. So the staff does do, you know, the monthly work for a client, and then the next month another staff does it. I'm not a fan of that idea, but, you know, if it works for them, that then they've got a lot of staff knowing about their clients, and it's more, you know, yeah, it's more like more factory. It's just, you know, but you've got that backup. If somebody's away, the other person knows how to do it. If you've got your good procedures in place and your client manuals and little videos on how to do stuff, then you should feel secure that if somebody else was to jump on, that, you know, they should be able to take that over because you've got all the documents there to do it. Yeah. Thanks, Helen.
Trusting the systems.
Yeah, that's it's just trust the systems. It's whatever you're building. It's just trusting it. And Leah, did you want to jump off mute at all? Are you seeing you in the background there? Yeah, if you wanted to talk about your journey. No, she might be just listening in. That's okay. So I guess, you know, in, you know, now that we've understand a lot of the issues around running your business professionally, then, you know, some of the solutions are, you know, changing your mindset, training yourself, putting a lot of respect in yourself as well. I think that's part of it as well, Michael, isn't it? It's respecting yourself to know that your business can run professionally, it can have these clients, you know, you will only put up with this certain amount of, you know, attitude or service, or, you know, the criteria attributes of your clients. Putting, you know, I think we talk about this quite a bit as well, around valuing ourselves. You know, we deserve our prices. And they're striving for, you're always striving for excellence within your own business as well. So, you know, continuing to learn, educate yourself, you know, real big advocate of education, learn new services, learn. So it's not just learning around bookkeeping, it's a learning around leadership as well. Reading leadership books. You know, we've got book clubs in here. We've got a Dare to Lead book club at the end of this month. So reading those business books and learning around those, you know, how to become a good leader, how to be a good manager of staff, you know, those type of things.
I think with small business, I was just going to say on that topic, with a small business, it's a reflection of yourself in the early stages of the business, because you are a human being. You're building this business. The business is going to be very much like you. So your strengths and weaknesses are going to show up in the businesses or in the business. And so it's being aware of that and taking on your own personal development is going to be business development, because as you do your own personal development, understanding your own value, respecting yourself, owning your value, all of that will show up in the business. And then that's leadership, because now as you create this business that has this persona of you in your best self, your staff fall into that cadence. And so it's an opportunity. And you can, you know, hear from Helen's story. She is really doing a lot of personal development in terms of listening to content, working with mentors, investing in her business. You know, that investment is going to show up somewhere. Some return is going to come back. And so I think that, as you're saying, you're respecting yourself and designing a business that you love starts with discovering, you know, your own love for yourself and what a business would look like to have you love that business.
Yeah, exactly. Helen's asked, Michael, where do you see the industry shifting to and the trends in the US?
So
that's a big question late at night, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big question. Yes.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's an interesting question, and I see it going in a lot of different directions. I mean, there's always there's so many different voices in any industry. And if you think of the industry of bookkeeping, there's the voices of the software companies, there's the voices of the apps, there's the voices of the other thought leaders in the industry, other bookkeepers, you know, where is it going? And I find it very interesting in that, you know, for a while you hear about people saying, oh, you know, bookkeepers are going to be, they're going to be out of work, right? The computers will take over. which is such an interesting thing for, how could that ever be where businesses aren't becoming less regulated? They're only becoming more regulated. The tax compliance is not getting easier. It's getting more complicated. So if you think of what's happened in the globe, there's a lot of money being spent that by governments that at some point is going to have to be paid back by what? Taxes. Who do you think has to collect? The government needs to collect those taxes. Who are they going to look to make sure that the taxes are going to get, allocated properly? You mentioned that, Katrina, already, right? Doing your due diligence, having integrity around all of that. So, there's all of these things that are happening both in technology, but also in government, in the world, in the economies. Small business owners are going to need advocates to help them navigate finances of their business. That is never going to change, in my opinion. And it's going to the place there. Now, the work might be a little bit different. The skill sets might have to maybe be optimized or up leveled, but bookkeepers have attention to detail like no other. And all the things that I've just talked about require incredible attention to detail, which most small business owners do not have, and will need help to sort through it, make sure it gets done, make sure that it's accurate, make sure that they have information that's needed in order for them to do the best that they can in their business. So I see just the move towards more advisory work, the move towards consulting. And when I say advisory, what does that really mean? But if you think of just sitting with the business owner and helping them understand what's going on financially in the business, that role has been played by bookkeepers for a very long time, and I don't see that changing. Lots of technology coming to help do the work and have all these things happening, but the most valuable piece of the equation is helping the business owner navigate. And so if I were to focus somewhere, it'd be in making sure that you have the ability to do that kind of advisory for your clients.
Yeah, and it's part of the customer service that we don't have time for. We always sit in compliance. We attract clients, or we put clients on because they want bookkeeping and compliance, and we get busier and busier in that way. We're not allowing ourselves to have that growth within advisory as well. So if we were to improve our systems and efficiencies and the staff resources, so we always know that it's a non-negotiable to have time within your business to be able to learn this advisory skill and use this advisory skill on our customers, because that's what they're going to continue to need. And we could develop that further than just around showing them what the P&L is and things like that, or providing them with that information. We can start advising them on it, and building that out as a service as well. There's so much more that we could be providing our clients that we just miss the mark because we're too busy. We're too busy with compliance and deadlines and all the
exactly
stuff.
and that's there's so many new apps and things are changing. I mean, someone has to figure all that stuff out. You have to figure those things out in your business, and they're very, all of it's incredibly immature. All the technology is completely immature, and so there's lots of glitches and problems, and it breaks, and so that takes time. So it's figuring those things out, but the technology will mature and become more streamlined and improved. But the business is complex, and I don't see it getting less complex. And so that's the opportunity. And look, there's no shortage of small businesses. I mean, I think after this COVID, where people are working from home, they're seeing the world differently completely. This is going to cause a shift for many people. Many negative things will happen, many positive things will happen out of that, but there'll be very, very different way that people will think. And I think a lot of people will look to small business and micro business as well, like local community business, which is great for bookkeepers. So yeah, so some exciting things happening, some challenges as well, but that would be where I see things going.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be interested for the audience to think about, what are you going to be doing differently from now on to keep promoting that professional business? I mean, either come off mute or pop it into the chat. We're at the top of the hour. But even if you were just to think about exactly what you were going to do differently now to move towards creating that more systemized, more efficient business that you're wanting to build. So I think we might finish it up there. We're at the top of the hour, and thank you so much, Michael, for attending. Really appreciate it.
It's been my pleasure.
It's been great to have you on today.
Thank you everybody for participating.
No, it's been great. We'll be in touch with that person that we'll decide to send over the book to. So thank you everyone for attending, and we'll see you around the community. Bye for now.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.